A lot of movement of these cars down the back straight. We see Danica in the 10 right there. There she goes down on the inside. That car really got light. The wheels come off the ground. Roof flip.
Wow.
Push it back down.
That is turf management at its worst right there.
Spectacular shot, and she did a great job keeping it going straight, not getting into that inside wall there, causing more damage. You know, we talk about getting runs, but we also talk a lot about blocking. And right there, that was just a combination of two drivers wanting one bit of risk.
Left of your screen is Kyle
Whoa.
Busch, and around goes Kyle Larson.
Ooh, bam! Oh, big impact, man. Thank God that safer barrier's there, but that was still a huge impact.
Second caution of the day, lap 48.
That thing hit head on.
Did you see it go up in the air, DW?
It reminded me of when Denny Hamlin wrecked down here off turn 4 a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I see him moving around inside there.
Coming.
Oh, yeah, you can see right there. Left rear tire goes out, and he's lost control. At this moment, he's trying to keep it going straight.
Yeah.
Hits the outside wall.
This is the one that's going to hurt. Watch this thing come down through here. Head on into that inside wall.
Just nothing he can do at this point.
Just hang on. And
straight into the safer barrier.
Watch that safer barrier. Watch that thing flex and shoot that car back out.
Now you're talking about a 3,400-pound piece of machinery, lifted all 4 wheels up in the ground and spins it around like a top.
Probably running about 140, maybe 50 miles an hour, even
in the scrub,
at that point, trying to scrub off speed.
As it scrubs off speed, still carrying a tremendous amount of speed.
Just can't catch the left rear down. The car wants to turn right, hits that outside wall. And watch this safer barrier. I mean, that thing bowed in, and it absorbed all that energy. If that is a concrete wall, totally different story. Wow.
It's Danica Patrick.
Well, you can hear a tire down here.
I was going to say, was that another tire?
It sounds like it.
She was in 19th.
She was running 19th.
Get out. Yes. Get out.
Wow.
That's a hard lick.
Sent some fire inside the cars while she's in a hurry here to get out of the race car.
On the bottom here.
Underneath Casey Kane. Looks like Casey went to go tuck in behind her and just misjudged it. Got into her right rear, turned her into the wall. Hard impact.
Man, right down the straightaway here. Woo.
All right, let's ride along with Danica Patrick down into turn 1.
Right here at this part of the racetrack.
She's going by Casey here, making the pass, and man, he just clips her in the right rear and turns her into the fence.
Now Joey Logano continues to drive back to the front. 14th already, Matt.
That left front corner structurally sound, and they have repaired it with
big one. Oh my goodness. The 25 hit hard. That's Chris Cockrum.
Gosh, that's a hard hit.
Scary, scary moment coming off of turn 2.
Hero turns right into the 25. Joey Gates is just an innocent bystander here.
Oh, he just barely clipped that wall that jets out there, and that sent that car spinning like a top. Look at all the debris scattering. Smithley was just trying to help, and I think it pushed the 25 out a little bit, and when he tried to tuck back in line, it spun him around.
That's something as a driver you really got to be careful of. Coming off of the corners here where the banking falls away, the back of these cars get really, really light. So if you're, I mean, sometimes you don't even have to touch the driver in front of you, but if there's any contact at all, you're going to see a result like we just saw.
You're clear. Stay in like that. Stay in like that. The one bounce you out. Now watch him.
How did Elliott Sadler get back on the road and not lose any ground? He's going to have a chance to win this race.
If he pulls high.
Joey Logano gets turned. Elliott Sadler drives through. They're crashing big time at the line. Brennan Poole, first career win at Talladega.
How about that for Brennan Poole? And the big hit from Blake.
Huge crash. Joey Logano with damage. The same for Blake Cook. Wow.
I mean, just chaos coming to the start-finish line.
Watch at this move Elliott Sadler makes. He does everything perfectly. He goes high, he fakes high. That's where Logano goes. He loses control of his car.
Yeah, you cannot blame that on Elliott Sadler. No doubt. He went to go high, the 22 blocks, so he changed it, and he says, all right, I'm going to go low, and it just pulled the air off the 22 right there. The 22 wrecked.
Third first-time winner we've had in the history of Talladega Superspeedway in the NASCAR Xfinity Series.
What a great job by Elliott Sadler. Crashed on the back straightaway, but yet vying for the win on the front. Just gets pushed low and can't keep his momentum up to win the race.
How about Jeremy Clements with a third-place finish? Great run for that team.
And Justin Allgaier, so close to victory last week at Richmond, and then again this Saturday afternoon in Alabama. Such a shame for Blake Cook. He just was in a position there was nowhere for him to go.
Stand in the middle, stand with the one. Don't let him slip to the outside. Stand with him. Trail up, trail up, trail up.
Lights out. Down at the start-finish line. Say, please, can I just have it? I know I won this race. Let's see what the video shows here.
What would you anticipate they're looking at? Because I never saw the caution lights come on, and the only thing I can think of is that NASCAR would have deemed the caution lights came on before they got to the start-finish line, and Poole was not leading at the time of caution.
That's possible.
But I didn't see the lights come on. Logano's okay. He gave it his all. He gave it everything he had. He did what he had to do.
Remember where the start-finish line is. That's right. It's not in the middle of the tri-oval. Keselowski.
Big run coming from the 18. Oh, the
Kyle
three stepped
Busch.
out.
Dillon. Kyle Busch and Dillon side trouble. Car hard in the wall. Two of them. Keselowski to the line. Caution had waved with Keselowski the leader, and crashing are Harvick, Allmendinger, Stenhouse, Truex, Labonte, and everybody else.
Good job today, Brad. That was you, man. Managing that.
Into the tri-oval. Contact between Truex and Allmendinger, and then Cole Witt turns Kevin Harvick up and into the wall, and Stenhouse and Allmendinger. Witt slides along and crashes with Truex. Caution is out. Race is effectively over. Exit of pit road. 400 feet maybe from the start-finish line, and there's your
very aggressively for position before the competition yellow.
And Elliott's out.
Oh, the 6 of Darrell Wallace Jr. is going to go around. He catches the 48. The big one happens in front. 2 of Austin Dillon is collected. 3 of Ty Dillon gets through.
Definitely left front damage.
Brennan Poole involved in the 48. You see the 19 part. Daniel Suarez.
As that gap starts to close, the 48 hits him once, everything's fine. And then he hits him a second time closer to the right rear corner, and you see that starts to move the tail of the 6 from left to right. Darrell Wallace Jr. does the best he can to regain control, but at these speeds he loses control, gets into the 20, and then you start to see just back and forth. You see the 19 and Daniel Suarez as it leaves the screen, almost has it collected. The 2, great to see that car come back onto the ground. We saw cars go airborne in Talladega. That car could have easily went up in the air and flipped over. The roof flaps open, the cowl flaps open, set the 2
We're seeing
back
a lot of bump
ground.
drafting already. What's it been like out there so far?
I mean, it's part of it. The cars line up fine, so you just kind of have to know when you're pushing a guy sideways, I guess, is the biggest thing. I mean, when you get to somebody, you want to be lined up square and push them straight, and you don't have to side draft this early in the race.
Here we go, Eric Almirola, and into the wall goes David. David Reagan slamming into the wall.
Behind you, no caution yet. Outside.
Darrell Wallace Jr. quick across the inside wall. The caution has not come out.
Now David Reagan into the outside wall. Others become collected. Several cars in the back half of the field go spinning side by side for the lead in turn 3 for the final time.
efficient at restrictor plate racing. 4 wins, and we've got trouble behind him, Rick. Around they go.
Stay down, go up, go up, go up, go up.
It looked like it was Eric Almirola that was the first to go sideways and then collecting numerous cars behind him.
It gets onto the left front. It's on from there. I mean, we talked about it earlier. As soon as somebody makes a mistake and you're in this big pack of cars, you're going to take a lot of people with you. It's just how it happens. You can, some of these cars riding around the back actually got in the wreck as well. So one mistake by a driver, or a mistake by 2 drivers, and this is what happens. It's not just those 2.
And a bump there by the 48. The back bumper of Jamie McMurray. 78 of Martin Truex Jr. caught up. Danica Patrick also. Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 88. Brian Scott up on the hood of the 4 of Kevin Harvick.
For Kevin Harvick, you mentioned the 44. You hear him out of the gas, on the brakes.
Go low.
Absolutely nowhere to go. You see his view, a car on his windshield.
All right.
And that's how fast it happens.
Look at the 34, how fast he's coming in there. 31.
Yep, 31 also.
Ryan Newman, he gets into the back of Greg Biffle. I mean, all these cars have significant damage. The 16 of Biffle, of all the cars that got hit significantly, he probably has the least amount of damage if it didn't damage the fuel cell.
20 of Kenza.
A lot of big names in this wreck.
Absolutely.
See Danica in it. She was a lap. She had just gotten lapped.
There's the damage to the 4 of Kevin Harvick. The hood folded.
Spun around quick, and it didn't look like he had gone in the corner any harder than that other truck that he had caught. Heavy contact. Yeah, look at the smoke. Yeah. See the fluid on the outside of the racetrack. Nothing Austin myself could do about that.
Keep rolling here. Keep rolling bottom.
Yeah, I happened to catch out of my periphery of the truck. Daniel
Harvick up into the top 10.
Keselowski giving no room whatsoever to the 18.
And another big crash on the backstretch, Rick.
Man, and right up in front of more traffic.
Behind you in 3.
I think Ryan Newman's in it.
David Reagan is in it. Fire.
And Chris Buescher was in it as well.
Chris Buescher involved.
You know, we've seen this several times. The cars haven't, getting into turn 1, and I think the 14 just kept coming down on the 31 on the back straightaway. Wasn't happy maybe with what went on in turn 1, and
big impact by the 23, and you see right there Chris Buescher kind of bounces between them. Luckily gets through, but that was a really big impact for the 23 of David Reagan. It was great. This would be a great view of it, Jeff.
Outside 14. 19 straight back, looking inside tight, inside tight, inside tight. We got wrecked hard right here. Got wrecked hard.
14 involved.
Just as it comes down the backstretch, I know the 14, I'm not sure if he's unhappy with the 31 or if he's trying to protect the position, but he just continues to come from the high lane down to the low lane, and the 31 has nowhere to go. Ryan Newman, you heard him even play with the throttle. I'm not sure.
Carl Edwards in the 19 coming up the racetrack.
I mean, did the 14 possibly have a left rear tire going down? I mean, look, in watching it looked like they just got into 1, and he got mad at Newman and just started coming down on him to show he was upset, and then they got hung up. And
I mean, without a doubt, the 14 and him coming from the right to the left down the straightaway is the cause of the accident. The question is,
the restart zone. Kyle Larson, the outside. Carl Edwards on the inside. Green flag back in the air. They're blocking. Good go down low. Carl Edwards into the wall. He got tagged by the 22. Big hits by the 19, and the caution comes back out again.
That is exactly what we saw Joey Logano was going to try to do. Big fire of the 78, but that is what we thought was going to happen. Obviously, the wreck isn't what we thought. Carl sees him coming. He goes to block. 22 does not slow up, stays in the throttle. Wide, big wreck. Worst possible scenario for Carl. Carl turns left, trying to block a championship on the line. Joey's there, in a big wreck. And I don't blame Carl Edwards.
Not at all.
He had to block. That's what he had to try to do.
But I don't blame Joey Logano, because if he lifts with 10 to go, it's over. He's lost the championship right there. He didn't hit the 19 in the bumper. He was inside the left rear bumper cover of the 19 of Carl Edwards. You see